Is the 538 forecast model. And in this one, I'm going to give you an update from the last video. This video is going to center around the 2024 presidential election according to 538, which is owned by ABC, which is then owned by its head company, which is Disney. So let's start with the polls. On the national average, 538 puts Harris with a 1.8% advantage over President Trump. Now, if we look at on a state-by-state basis, let's go focus on the swing states. In Arizona, Trump is up by 1.8% in the aggregate. In Georgia, Trump is up by 1.8% as well, according to 538, of course. Please take all of this with a grain of salt. In Michigan, Harris is up by 0.2%. In the state of, let's look at another swing state, North Carolina, Trump is up by 0.5%. In Pennsylvania, Trump is up by 0.3%. In the state of, if I'm not mistaken, the state of Wisconsin, Harris is up by 0.2%. And that's about does it for all the swing states. So most of the swing states, unless you put it in terms of 538, most of the swing states, technically Trump is up in the polls, right? But if you look at it from the standpoint of what 538 considers to be even or like a toss-up category, the race is essentially a toss-up in all of the swing states except for Georgia and Arizona, and the rest of the states, it is considered a toss-up. I'm not even looking at the other states because the other states are not swing states. It's mainly these 7 states being Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Nevada, Georgia, and Arizona. Those are the swing states. And in 5 of those, it's even per 538. So let's look at its forecast, shall we? So according to the 538 politics forecast model, Trump wins in 53 out of 100 scenarios. Harris wins in 47 out of 100 scenarios. So Trump is slightly favored to win by a margin of 6%, but this is essentially, per 538's forecast, a toss-up, meaning more of a 50-50 chance than anything else. And if it's pretty wide, the forecast from 538. If you can, we're looking at it from its website. This is updated as of 6:46 p.m. this afternoon, and they take this as the way they categorize this is by looking at probabilities. And a probability standpoint based on the data, like such as polls and the weighting they apply to polls, Trump wins in 526 of those cases, and Harris wins in 470 of those cases. In 4 of those cases, there are no winners. This is in 1,000 simulations done. And if you hover over your mouse over those individual instances, you'll find by what margin each candidate may win, what's the most likely scenario for them to win. So in a Harris victory, the most likely plausible Harris victory is a 278 to 260 win. And the highest likelihood scenario is a 297 Trump win, 241 Trump win, or that's the base case scenario for Trump, best case scenario for Harris, 278, according to this forecast, which is, they warn in their website that this is changing all the time. Latest national polls that are influencing are the following that you see here. Now, one thing to note about these pollsters is that a lot of these pollsters are, the majority of these are not highly rated pollsters, or at least the ones that are showing Trump ahead. There are some that are high quality. For example, to a certain extent, the Atlas Intel, which shows Trump up by 3, the Emerson College one, which is a very high quality pollster, has Harris up by 1. The YouGov, which is a high quality pollster as well, 3 stars over here. Harris up by 4. Now, there are some that have either no rating, like this one has Harris up by 6. Doesn't have that much weight on the forecast because it has no rating. TIPP Insights also has a lower rating, Harris up by 3, which is why it doesn't have much of a weight in it. This one has On Message, which is a Republican-funded pollster, as you can see here, has Trump up by 1. So the ones that bear the most weights is the ones that you see with 3 stars or 2.7 stars. This one over here, this one over here. So those are the ones slightly influencing the model more than anything else. Now, those are the things that are giving him a 52% over 100% chance to Trump. Now, what has changed over time? You see over here, Trump is predicted to win. Just on Friday, well, not really on Friday. On Friday, you had Trump winning by a mere 4 electoral votes, and now you have him winning by a lot more. So the forecast has switched. This is how it looks on a state-by-state level. As you can tell, they still, even though they have Trump winning in this forecast, they still place these 4 states, so that means Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, on the toss-up category. And what is a toss-up per 538? It is anything that has a 60 or less chance in 100 instances. So in 100 simulations, if the candidate only wins less than 60 of them, it is still considered a toss-up. So in Wisconsin is a 50-50, Michigan is 50-50, Pennsylvania is slightly in Trump's territory, which is why he has the victory over here. North Carolina is also slightly in Trump's lane. But if you notice, Georgia is just shy out of that 60 threshold that's needed for it to be a toss-up. So is Arizona. Let's keep going, shall we? So that's the forecast. Now, what are the closest races per 538? The closest races are Wisconsin, which is even, Michigan, followed by Nevada, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, and whatnot. Now, this is changing constantly, so take this with a grain of salt. Tipping point state, the one that's likely to determine the winner, Pennsylvania over here. 50-50 outcome, which is incredibly close. This is just to tell you that the race is going to be close. Now, who's going to win the popular vote? Higher probability of chance of Harris winning the popular vote per Trump, but Trump still wins. The fundamentals say the polling averages are set to skew one way or another. We saw that in 2020, we saw that in 2016, skewing towards the Republican side, but then in 2022, skewing towards the Democratic side. So the highest probability here is Harris wins the popular vote against Trump, or either candidate winning in a landslide. Lower probabilities here. Same for each candidate. So that's the 538 Politics podcast. Now let's put it into an electoral map, shall we? So if we were to follow the 538 Politics podcast, we would give Arizona to the Republicans. We would give Georgia to the Republicans. We would give Nevada, I would say, if I'm not mistaken, to the Republicans. We would give then Michigan to the Democrats. Give North Carolina to the Republicans. We would then give Pennsylvania to the Republicans, and then Wisconsin to the Democrats. So this is what the Electoral College map will look like with this scenario of 538 over here. A scenario given. Oh, actually, no. So we would still have Nevada actually going to the Democrats, but it wouldn't make a difference there. You would still have Trump winning the 2024 presidential election per 538. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you all on the next one. Thank you so much.